ABC, the Wax here, and in this video, I'm doing a contest entry for JT's Record Room, his push to 400 subscriptions. So in his rules for his contest, he said show 5 albums that are your favorite albums. And then there's a second part to show 3 movies from your favorite director. I'm going to show 3 movies from my favorite directors, plural. So let's get started. Really going to get going with this. One of my favorite albums, and I just have a regular version of this, or a early pressing, an ABC pressing, but I just acquired a 1980 Mo-Fi version of Steely Dan's Asia. By a lot of accounts, this is their best album. It's a great album. Black Cow, Deacon Blues, a lot of hits on this album. If you don't have it, you should get it. This is an album I believe should be in every collection. It's been around since '77, so I've always remembered hearing this on the radio as a kid. And as I've grown up, I've always had either a CD or a cassette, and now a couple albums of it. It's a memorable, great album from a group that is just, they're an American institution as far as I'm concerned, okay? So next one, we'll go from college era, and that is Paul Simon's Graceland. From the time this album came out, through my late high school into college years, I've always had a copy of it, always played it. It's an album from beginning to end. You don't pick and choose the songs. It is Paul Simon discovering a new style of music, very African influenced. In this particular version, you should get, because it's remastered, state of the art, 180 gram, pressed at RTI. There's the hype sticker there. Comes with poster. Comes with a download card, which is very weird. It gives you access, or you could download a remixed version of this. It's odd. It's like Paul Simon in a club where foam's pouring. It's just a bizarre thing. But this album's just supreme. And if you do not have this on vinyl, you should get it. Under $25. Awesome. I believe everyone should have it. Okay. Next album was one of my kind of grails. I don't think it's very difficult to get, but I had found a very minty copy of it in LA. I live in LA at Amoeba for like $14. I've have a CD of this. I listen to it all the time. It's Squeezed, singles 45s and under. It's their greatest hits, but it came out like in 82, their greatest hits in 82. It's an album, again, I believe everyone should have. Very memorable, but when I bought the vinyl and just put it on, let me show you the A&M logo there. It blew my mind, made me cry, I had a tear in my eye. This is just so awesome. So love it. Okay, next one. That is, I'm counting because I'm old and feeble-minded. That's 3. So this is number 4. Phil Collins' Face Value. Again, a staple of anyone's record collection. It's Phil Collins' first solo album from Genesis. It always seems like every album he put out, he went through a divorce. I don't know how many times he was married. In the Air Tonight is a classic by anyone's standard. This was a thrift store find, beautiful gatefold. They're on the Atlantic label. You can't say so much more. Like I've talked about all these albums, the soundtrack of your life. It's crazy, but it's good. So there we are. Now I'm going to go to one of my favorite albums of all time by a band who only put out 2 albums, or one of my favorite groups. Now I have CDs of this album, but when I had a chance, they reissued it on vinyl. The company who put it out sold out of it, but then they discovered a bunch of copies but without the cover. So I'm using this, had to write on it, Jellyfish Spilled Milk, on this Forbidden Hollywood cover. But all they had was it just in the you know, in the inner sleeve. But it's a cool inner sleeve with the lyrics and stuff. And it's on beautiful green vinyl. Let me take it out. Beautiful green vinyl. But the other side has Jellyfish logo there. This is their second album. It was produced by Al B. Galutin. If you watch the Bee Gees documentary on HBO, he produced the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, worked with the Bee Gees. This is like an opus. This is Jellyfish concept album. They're a power pop band, very Queen-ish. But this is very personal to me. I've seen them in concert, loved their first album, Belly Button. But I came out to LA to see if I wanted to live out here. I came for a couple weeks, stayed with friends, and that's when this album came out. And I went and bought it and was listening to it walking around LA for the kind of first time. So that's why it's special and means a lot to me. So we've gotten through 5 albums here. I'm counting because I'm old and feeble-minded. Yes. So now we're moving on to the directors. And I have albums to accompany DVDs and Blu-rays I have. So we're going to start off with my favorite movie of all time. And this director, Richard Rush, The Stuntman, which I'm going to show the soundtrack because I also have it, The Stuntman. If you haven't seen this movie, I kind of call this movie every genre in one. Action, suspense, romance. It's about Peter O'Toole, a director, trying to shoot a World War I movie in San Diego. And his lead stuntman dies, and he finds a guy on the lam from the cops to replace him. It's just a great movie. If you've never seen The Stuntman, I highly recommend it. Richard Rush, great director. He did Freebie and the Bean. It seemed like he had a heart attack in every movie he made. This particular version has a documentary he made. But love this movie. Great director. Okay. Next one, if you do not have this movie, you're a fool. I'm saying you're a fool. The fool means you do not have Dazed and Confused. And if you do not have the Criterion collection, where Richard Linklater, who's a great American director, you can look at all his films. Very rarely does he make a movie that is not entertaining and watchable. But this is just a classic. And one of the reasons I believe I got through the pandemic is they did a live reading with practically the whole cast last year that, if you can find online, was awesome. In fact, Rory Calhoun there seemed to be high during the make, like 30 years later. So Richard Linklater, great director. And, I'm going to adjunct in a second of 4 directors. But let's go to the next one, who should mean everything to everyone, is John Hughes. This is a British Arrow released special edition of 16 Candles. It's hard to play on American. You have to have a region free. But if this came out, I think, a couple years ago, awesome edition, 16 Candles. And I'll show an album soundtrack of She's Having a Baby, which is his personal story. Very personal to him. This is one of the best soundtracks ever, as far as I'm concerned, on IRS Records. In fact, the movie's so good that the soundtrack is another character. The 2 scenes in the movie that are the most memorable are played. They're basically music videos. This Woman's Work by Kate Bush. I dare you to watch it without kind of getting very emotional. Apron Strings is a song that has a great montage in the movie. So John Hughes, come on. All right, the next one is one of the awesomest directors of all time, and that's Cameron Crowe. So I have Say Anything, which again has a great soundtrack. In fact, I saw Peter Gabriel's 6 years ago did a tour around. He did the whole So album. I saw it at the Hollywood Bowl at the end when he was doing In Your Eyes. John Cusack came out just like this, holding a boombox. The crowd freaked out. And then his very personal story, Almost Famous. I have a couple versions of this. This is the regular version. I highly recommend seeking out the bootleg cut. I think the Blu-ray of that is $8 on Amazon. That is a 45-minute longer director's cut of the movie, which is awesome. This is great. That extended version is better than this. So Cameron Crowe, man, he is the man. And of course, they're about to reissue like a killer, gigantic version of the soundtrack and more of this. If you've never seen this movie, you have to see it. Okay, I'm caffeinated. I talked a million miles an hour. JT, thank you for allowing me to participate in your push to 400 subscribers. I hope this is a great introduction to you about me. I subscribed. I'm enjoying your videos. And other than that, like I always say about me, subscribe to JT. Help him get over 400. Come to me. Help me get over 200. I appreciate it. Comment, like, not like, but as always, subscribe with me. And that's all I have to say. So, the waxed out.